It has been said that it takes a thief to catch a thief and a con man to catch a con man. The legal profession is full of those well versed in the art of conning. It has to be.
The following video was shot in a magistrate's court, a court de facto, in order to expose what now passes for justice in the UK courts. For the sake of clarity, the following points of law need to be stated. There is no law that demands that a man or woman should have to pay council tax. There is only the 1992 Local Government Finance Act, which, being an Act of Parliament, can only be enforced with consent. This video is about exercising your right to stand under common law. This means not giving consent to a commercial court. All those assuming judicial authority have to swear an oath or attestation to serve the Queen and to uphold the law of the land, or common law. They have no authority to enforce commercial law, the law of the sea, unless you consent. They are obliged to honour their oath when requested and produce evidence of their oath on demand. If they refuse, they dishonour the Queen and her oath to uphold the law of the land, and of course those who have sought to uphold and preserve the law of the land and customs and traditions of the country.
Who are you, sir? I am a lay representative appointed by the agent for Mr. Stephen Barry, who's here with us today, sir. And with
solicitor barrister, sir?
Sorry?
You solicitor barrister?
I'm a lay advisor, sir, appointed by the legal... the law...
Sit next to me, you may not address the court, and I'm not prepared to deal with you, sir. Mr. Barry, here, please.
We claim common law jurisdiction, sir.
Mr. Barry, come in and right.
Mr. Barry is here in the court, sir.
Mr. Barry, what are you standing in front of?
Have you got your birth certificate?
Then the clerk stands up and abandons the court. This is Mr. Stephen Barry, a birth certificate, a piece of paper, in full view for the clerk and court to see.
No, has he abandoned the court?
The clerk had abandoned the court, then returns with the magistrates. This still shows the moment when the members of the public showed that they did not consent to the jurisdiction of a commercial court. This was shown by not standing up when the magistrates entered the room. The layman then made it clear that common law jurisdiction was being claimed.
Sir, with all due respect, we claim common law jurisdiction.
The layman repeatedly asks the magistrates if they are on oath. They do not honour their oath because they are purely there for issuing summary judgment for profit. In this case, for themselves, the council, and of course the commercial court.
We claim common law jurisdiction, sir. Leave the court. I'll have you arrested. Sir, you go on your own, security to court number 1, please. Security to court 1. Sir, are you going on your own? Wish to remain? Stand, please. Those of you who are not wishing to remain will leave the court in security, please.
The clerk again reverts to issuing orders to gain jurisdiction, but the public gallery and the layman stand their ground. Jurisdiction has again been denied.
Are you here on your oath today? Are you here on your oath today? Sir, are you Stephen Barry? I'm the lay advisor for the lawful agent for Mr. Stephen Barry, sir. I'm appointed by the man. You have no right to arrest him. First of all, this gentleman, please. Everybody who's sitting will leave court, please. Everybody who's sitting will leave court, please. For the benefit of you, will you please be quiet? No, just be quiet. You've been asked to leave. I can't stand. You did walk in, you weren't standing when you walked in.
The magistrate is trying anything to get jurisdiction by assuming the layman is standing for the magistrates, which would give them jurisdiction. The clerk regains some honour by advising the magistrate the lay advisor was already standing, and standing under common law when the magistrates entered the court.
So you're refusing to say that you're on oath, madam, sir? Then we'll call the constable to have your arrest. We'll call the constable. Each Thursday, and then everybody else will sit there. I do not know the finger on it. The magistrates have ordered this man moved. Magistrates have abandoned the court, sir.
The magistrates have abandoned the court as they have not gained jurisdiction, and therefore have no authority, and neither does the clerk.
And I claim on the magistrates have asked you, I claim on the law to review. I claim on the I claim on the we can catch you. I'm asking you to go. I don't think you do that. Sir, when you go, sir, you make what wrong on me, I will sue you for assault on the common law. Can you do that?
Yes, he can do that.
Are you coming out now? Yes or no? No, all policemen. All policemen. All
The lay advisor repeats his request for a constable to be called to the court. The court clerk then advises that the police have already been called. This is not the case, as only a member of the public gallery had at this point called the police.
No, you may not. I warn you, I have eyewitness the magistrates ordered this man removed. And these people here are not after their own. Dennis! Please don't touch me, sir. I'll have you arrested for... Yes, please do. Please call the thing. Take him out. Please call the thing. He has told us to take him out. No? Well, he's got the authority to do that. He's no authority. I'm the jurisdiction. They have the board. The court doesn't respect their jurisdiction. Don't touch me. Do not touch me. Please don't touch me. You are not authorised to touch me. I do not consent to you touching me. Do you understand?
It is left to the stewards to do the clerk's dirty work. It appears that only now the court usher is calling the police. The lay advisor retrieves the birth certificate, Mr. Stephen Barry, the person that was summoned to appear in the court. The steward looks bewildered. However, he did the right thing by not using force. The steward makes peace with the lay advisor. A few minutes later, the police arrive.